Have you heard of the need for the Trinity because of the philosophical problem of the one and the many?
I'm not a fan of that kind of reasoning. Um,
Okay.
I mean, let me put it this way. I was privileged to take a class or two in metaphysics. I taught metaphysics a couple times at the undergraduate level. It's super interesting. It's super hard also. And to characterize like the foundational problem of philosophy as the problem of the one and the many, like that's kind of how it was looked at in like the pre-Socratic times. But since then, um, I think it's sort of branched out. What questions that used to be lumped together are now addressed separately, right? So one question is whether or not there are universals in a Platonic sense or abstract objects, they're called now. Another issue is, what does it take for physical things to compose a whole, for parts to compose a whole? Do parts ever compose a whole, or really just do you have a universal of simples? Um, whether change is real or not. There's philosophy of time, like the stuff that used to just get kind of lumped together and talk about as a realm of being and a realm of becoming. Like metaphysics has just moved way past that. So like when I took metaphysics and when I taught it, like there was no like chapter on what's the problem of being and becoming. That's kind of an old fashioned way of doing it. I know it's promulgated by some reformed theologians mostly. It's not usually the philosophers, because again, the more you know about metaphysics, the more you don't think that it's kind of in that same ancient, going down that same footpath, if I could put it that way. So I actually had a conversation online with a guy recently about this. If you're concerned about how can there be one in many, well, if you believe that God is a perfect being, then he necessarily exists. He exists in all possible worlds, and he exists a se, just through himself, independently of anything else. And if you deny divine simplicity, then this God is going to necessarily have different perfections, different divine attributes that are essential to him. There's your one in many. You got one being, and in a sense, he's many because he's got many aspects or properties or attributes. Like, what's the problem? I don't. Why do you need the Trinity for this? And when I was having this conversation, the guy he basically just kept suggesting, oh, but then he's not really one. Okay, so really one, that's like divine simplicity. But again, divine simplicity has logically implies all these bad consequences, and it has absolutely zero foundation in scripture. Um, so who cares about divine
Yeah.
simplicity?